Good morning, everybody. It's Lisa Baker here at Serendipitous, and I know you guys have been waiting on this. We are here with Beverly, and everybody says, whoop, whoop. Good morning, Miss Beverly. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We are fabulous. Everybody has been so excited since Steve started putting out the information that they were going to get to spend some time with you this morning, learning all things Beverly, all things flamingo toes. So super excited. And of course, excited to talk about your newest collection that's in the shop, Berry Market.
Yay!
Oh, I am such a strawberry lover. Love
Yay.
strawberries kid. It has sentimental meaning to me for numerous reasons. So anytime there is a collection that has a strawberry, and of course in your color palette, OMG, it draws me in like no other. And then of course with your name attached, it was like a no-brainer. I told the girls at Raleigh Blake, sign me up. We have to have this. So I just want to start out by saying thank you for bringing this collection to us. But though I know a lot about you, I know there are some of the citizens of Serendipitous that this may be the first time they're hearing of you, unless they are a 2025 VIP member. And you and I both know, Beverly, they have heard of you, right?
Yes. Thank you.
I love it. Tell us a little about who's Beverly and Flamingo Toes, and how did we get the name Flamingo Toes? Tell us
all the things. So I'm a fabric designer with Riley Blake Designs, and I also design cross-stitch patterns, embroidery patterns, that kind of thing. So I love quilting and stitching. I have since I was a kid. I made my own clothes as early as like junior high. I did more like apparel things, and I stitched my first like Precious Moments cross stitch back then too. So I know you remember all the things were Precious Moments for a while.
Yes.
So
I feel like we're probably in that same age bracket because you're talking all my language.
Yes. So I grew up in a house of makers. My mom was a sewer. My dad is a watercolor artist. And so it was really fun to grow up with that heritage of just, everybody made something. And I love that. So I sewed for years and years. My first job was, well, it wasn't my first job, but my first job I loved was at a house of fabrics. I don't know if anybody remembers those, but it was a great store. Joann's bought them out and after years, but it was back when fabric stores were awesome. I mean, non like regular fabric stores, right? Not quilting shops that are always awesome.
Well, the word awesome with that, Beverly, is there was more of them back then.
Yeah.
Like, because people did make all their clothes. My mom made all my clothes growing up until I don't know how old I was. So for sure. I get it.
It was great. And everybody that worked there knew how to sew. So there was that advantage of like people being helpful and that kind of thing. So
truly answer the question when someone comes in and says, I don't know how to do this, but I want to try, and they can help.
Exactly. That was why we were there. So all that to say, it's just sewed for years and then kind of got into quilting more and that kind of thing. So it was just a gradual progression to this side of sewing, and it was match made in heaven. And now I don't want to sew my own clothes. I just want to sew clothes all the time.
Exactly. So what do you feel really was the pivotal moment to bring you into quilting? Because I was always exposed to quilting growing up, both grandmothers, numerous aunts quilted. I always enjoyed it, especially my mom's parents had a farm. And when we were growing up on the weekends, everybody's at the farm, right? She would have that big, God, the days, the big quilting wood rack where numerous women could sit around and hand quilt. And unfortunately, it's very cool. But unfortunately, by the time I was old enough to really, truly participate, my grandmother was getting older and, she passed away when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I didn't get to truly, don't get me wrong. She put me up on her lap and let me pretend to stitch. And Um, us grandkids would get under the quilt rack, and of course that was our TP and play, and we got scattered out. But the thing that got me to move from crocheting and knitting and any handwork over into quilting, like for real, and like you say, now absolutely love it, was some of my friends started having babies. So it's like I wanted to make a baby quilt. So what was you think, pivotal moment that really pushed you out of your normal crafties straight into quilting?
I think some of it was kid related in that I had sewn for clothes for them when they were younger. And then my daughter kind of said, I'm done wearing dresses, Mom. That kind of thing. And so, you kind of just get into that. For me, I sort of got out of sewing for a little bit during the kid raising time because it was busy and crazy. And then I started doing graphic design as a job, and it sort of melded the two together, like designing the fabrics and then the quilting and that kind of thing. So it was kind of a mutual progression that way.
Yeah, nice. So when was your first, we're not going to say the first collection you designed, because I know sometimes you're designing but no one's picking up, right? But when was your first collection that actually got picked up in the quilt world? How long ago has that been?
I think it was, I need to look that up. I'm pretty sure it was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Longer enough to feel seasoned,
it's been about
but
7 years.
Yeah. Not too long ago, but at the same time, I'm sure you and I spoke about this earlier, the fast pace that you guys have to work probably feels much longer than that many years.
It's just, they kind of blur, I've just, and like we were saying, my memory is just horrible. So I have to go look it up. But yeah, it's really fun. With 2 collections out a year, though, it is a little bit hard to keep track of what came out when.
Yeah, for sure. Do you remember the name of the first collection that got picked up?
Oh, absolutely. It was my baby. I when those bolts arrived, my first fabric collection, I sobbed like a child. It was called Vintage Adventure. And it had like retro campers and bicycles and all kinds. I drove to market that first year with a bicycle and had a bicycle in my booth. I was very excited. So
it was
a dream come true. Yeah, it was fun.
So it's funny that you mentioned the camper thing, because I was going to bring that up at some point this morning. Your Christmas collection that had the campers in it.
Yeah. So that was Christmas Adventure. I've had 3 adventure collections. So I've had a Halloween one, a Christmas one, and then the original, which was just vintage, which was just not non-holiday.
Right. Well, the Christmas one, somehow that one past my eyes. I never seen it until my customers started popping in either to match something to something out of the collection or with a show and tell project. And I'm like,
fun.
I know. I'm like, oh my God, where did this fabric come from? And then of course it was a Beverly collection. And I'm like, how did I miss that? But I just want you to know, I have seen so many cute projects out of your camper ones. So do you and your family camp, or you just like the little
We did for
camper?
years. We did a lot of camping. Our church would go to California every year, and we'd camp on the beach and that kind of thing. So, and I am definitely more, if I'm going to camp, more of a camper girl than a tent girl.
Yes.
You know, I want a bed. I want all those things. So yeah, it has been a number of years since we camped. I just like the vintagey vibes of it too. You know, the little teardrop campers and I don't know, there's something about I love pretty much most things vintage. So
Me too. That's why I said you and I, like, I'm telling you, you might not know it, but we're close to besties at this point.
Totally.
I really do. I love your stuff. Before we jump into Berry Market, a couple more things. Tell us Flamingo Toes. How did you come up with that name? And
so before I started doing, I know it's quirky. I used to collect flamingos in college, almost against my will. I said something about liking flamingos and everybody was like, oh, you like flamingos. And then I got all the flamingo things and I was like, oh, I collect these now. Cool. And then that kind of died off. And I started a blog back when everybody had a blog. And I just wanted to, this was like after the kids were in middle school, and I wanted to just kind of have a way to express myself, like go back to something just for me, something that was kind of fulfilling. Not that children, I'm not saying child raising isn't fulfilling at all, but just that, you need something to fill your maker, especially growing up as a maker. I needed to fill that. So I just started a blog where I was just posting things that I had made for the house or whatever it was. And I wanted something that didn't commit me to a certain thing. I didn't want to be just sewing. I didn't want to be embroidery or anything like that. So I wanted it generic. And I was like, well, flamingos, that's fun and quirky. And my husband and I were looking at things and he said, did you know they have toes? And I was like, well, no, how would I have known that? And I'm like, but that's cute, flamingo toes. Like maybe somebody leaves my site going, oh, that's fun. I didn't know that, and it's just like, and it's very memorable. I get people that will be in, the Miami airport and send me a photo of a flamingo and go, hey, I thought of you. And I love that. Like I can't, please think of me whenever you see a flamingo.
Exactly. Steve and I were laughing earlier in the week and we were both like, I don't even know if flamingos have toes. And I'm like, well, if they don't, they do now in Beverly's world.
They do.
It's so fun. And, as a businesswoman, I love that you were like, let me get a name that doesn't trap me, for my business.
Yes.
And serendipitous, so many quilt shops do put the word quilt in there. And, I'm one of these that I'm plotting and planning a new business all the time. And one of my notebooks, and when I was plotting and planning, if and when and ever, I've got tons of business I've plotted and planned that will never come to fruition because, I'm getting old and I will die. But if I ever had a quilt shop per se, all the things. And one of the names I had put in there was Grandma's Quilt Emporium or something like that, but I didn't want the name quilt, but sew is so much, even if it's hand sew.
Yes,
it's like
exactly. It is a broader range. Yeah.
Definitely. And if I went outside and, did something that was outside of sewing, which we know there's so many avenues with thread, let's just be real. Girl, that would just give me an excuse to come up with another cute name and stuff. But
exactly.
I didn't want to put myself straight to quilting because my first craft love was crochet. And, in the bigger vision of maybe one day in life, the Emporium version of serendipitous, I would love to see a little knit shop in there and, across it.
For sure.
Little pocket of the bigger umbrella. Definitely.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm all about some flamingo toes. I love it. So with that being said, I've already said I love some strawberries.
Oh, cute.
Now, listen, this is not as cute as your homemade strawberry, but we were talking about, I was hoping you would have them. I wanted to steal some strawberries at market. I'm not going to lie. But
you were not the only one. I had to watch them like a hawk.
They're so adorable. They're
really fun.
But like you were saying, as soon as someone found out that you liked flamingos, you started getting things. And like I said, strawberries is a near and dear thing to me. I don't know if you know, Beverly, but if you've looked at anything of mine, Wizard of Oz is obviously the trump card of everything. Fun. I am Wizard of Oz crazy. If you're in the quilt shop, you're going to find the Wicked Witch. You're going to find Dorothy and her friends and the Munchkins. And it's so funny when kids come in, they'll be like, some of them, they don't even know who Wizard of Oz is. And so I shamed their parents and grandparents. I'm like, you didn't even watch this movie. But strawberries is near dear. And this was gifted to me years ago from one of my very dearest friends, Debbie. She also is in Tennessee. She's near Sevierville, Gatlinburg. So right in your state. But it was a candle.
Oh,
and I
cute.
never burned it because
no, because it's too cute.
But it smells so yummy. I've had this for years, and I swear it still radiates strawberry. So when we opened the shop, of course, I had a strawberry collection in the shop. As soon as we opened, I'm like, okay, I'm bringing my strawberry candle. So my strawberry candle has to come out for berry market, but I show everybody your little strawberries because they were definitely
I have a couple little baskets of them. So they're really fun. They're really they're not they fall out everywhere. They're not my pattern. The pattern is Amy Chappell's. She's A Marooney Designs, and she's designed this one. So it's 3 different sizes of strawberries. I did the medium ones, and they're just really fun. They're all made up in berry market fabrics. And it's a combination. It's like machine stitch for the fabric, hand stitch to put the felt on, and then a little glue for the flower. But they're just so cute. I have them in like my little dining area, my little basket of all the different, just a cute little display. They'd be cute pin cushions too.
Absolutely. And if I remember correctly, Beverly, you have those showcased in one of your blogs. With the links?
Yes.
Put it in a blog.
On my website, I have the little strawberries, and then it has the link to Amy's pattern, plus where I got the felt and all that.
You put everything in there. And those, I will tell you, I have a little strawberry pattern like that. I want to say it was a freebie, but I can't remember. I tried to look for it this morning. I should have done it before this morning. I couldn't find it, but that one was the first one that I'd seen that actually had the strawberry flower to it. And I was like, that is such a cute little embellishment.
I know, it's so cute.
It is adorable. Miss Susan says, your shop is nothing but amazing. All the shop helpers are so kind and helpful. Love your fabrics notions and so intrigued by the machines and long arms. Serendipitous is a dream shop. Awesome. Thank you, Miss Susan. I tell you, we're so blessed here, Beverly, beyond. Lori Baker. Now Beverly is one of the ones that makes a lot of our bag samples and anything non-quilt. She makes it for us. She says, I love strawberries. We'll make those for sure. Well, Lori Baker, when you make some of those, remember your good friend. I did not steal from Beverly, but hey. Lori is so good to me. She's made me tons of stuff with Wizard of Oz fabric. She's always making me a little Cersei and bringing. So fabulous. So guys, Berry Market just came out. This is like new up in the shop, not long. We don't even have a sample yet, Beverly. That's how new we're feeling. But I know this probably has a glare, guys, but there is a showcase of the color scheme is the best that you're going to see. And then Beverly's got some beautiful quilts made. I've seen these in person. They're so yummy. So what inspired Berry Market? I know there's a bicycle in it. You already said you love a bicycle.
There is a little bicycle. Yeah. So I live in Portland, Tennessee, and we have a strawberry festival every year. In fact, it's coming up in like 2 weeks. Nice. And there's even a quilt show next weekend. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. I'm actually one of the judges this year. So that'll be really fun. Yeah. And so every year Portland is very, very, very small town. I could add a couple more berries there. But we do have that strawberry festival. That's the thing. And so there's just strawberries everywhere in early May. It's just like, it's pretty much heaven because you can just get them everywhere and they're really good. And so I just thought it would be fun to, highlight that fun festival. I love strawberries too. And so it was a fun idea to use for a collection. And so the bicycle's full of strawberries from the market and just has all the fun little strawberry elements.
It is so, I will tell you, you talked about you love everything vintage. I am like that too. I tell everybody I'm a Gemini. I'm split personality. I'm this very old soul, but then some days I love the wild and crazy, right?
Yes.
But this collection does have some very, very, very vintage feel that does take me back to my grandmother that I was talking about on the farm back in the 70s. It's so yummy, but at the same time, there's such a modern feel about this collection too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's what I want. I want my collections to have that vintage vibe, but still be current enough that anybody would want to sew with them. So that's perfect.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the colors pull in that vintage feel, especially, I'm not sure the proper color name, but I know you'll say it. The one
it's
that's
Stargazer.
Yeah. To me, that does the vintage. There you go. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that color brings the vintage feel for me. And then you have,
it's kind of
what's this one?
Oh, that's it's like a mint. It's like a soft mint.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say aqua, and I'm like, no, maybe it's minty.
Yeah.
But this is the color to me that brings in today and brings the two together for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So since you have your fabric swatches there, show everybody the ones with the bicycles first. Let's look at those.
For sure. So that print comes in 3 colors. So here's all 3, and then I'll open them up. But they're really fun, and they're non-directional, which is great because then they're just scattered everywhere. But you can still fussy cut them if you want to, for a center of a block or something like that. So there's little let me get closer so you can actually see. There you go.
I've spotlighted you. There you go.
There you go. So there's little strawberries in the back of the basket, and then the front basket, we got two baskets. There's this basket with flowers, and then on the back of the bike there's a crate full of strawberries.
Love it.
Then there's just different colored bikes all over.
And I enjoyed it because it was tossed. In quilting, we just can't do a directional well. Like, we really got to use our brain power, and sometimes
it's a little trickier for sure.
So
sometimes you need that directional print, but
yeah. But when my Riley Blake rep was showing me this collection, and then of course getting to see all of your projects in person at market, I was just like, thank God it's tossed. That's just another no-brainer for sure.
Yeah, Karen, it does make it easier.
Yeah. Karen Warner says your collection, absolutely like that. My mom and I love looking at your fabric because they are so classy and they feel so timeless. Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. So, do you consider the one with the bicycle or the floor your focus print for this collection, or are we
the main? This is the main. So the one that you have behind you, plus it comes in pink, and then that Stargazer. So that's what I consider the main. And then I have the secondary with the bicycles, and then there's a cute like an all over print, which that's one of my favorites. Even though it's not the main, I just love the tiny little flowers. And then very versatile. A cute gingham, because you have to just have picnicky vibes with that, right? So that one's really fun.
That was exactly as soon as I seen that, Beverly, I was like, picnic. But I love using cloth napkins, and the ones you just showed, I was like, oh my God, I gotta have some cloth napkins out of that.
That'd be so cute out of that, wouldn't it? I do cloth napkins too. I'm yeah. So, and then there's just a little 2-color, print that makes a good blender. And so it's the same flowers that are in the main, but just simplified a little bit. And then, so I'm a huge sucker for orange peel quilts, like that one there. And so I did an orange peel print, and it's got cute little stitching around some of them, and little flowers in between the orange peels. So I like that. That's fun. And then you just have to have some tiny little flowers, of course. The cute little flowers. And then and then some stripes, because we got to bind and do all the things. So
all the things. I love a good stripe for binding. That is something else I look for in a collection. Is it got a stripe?
Me too.
So now my other things are words. Do you like fabric that has words in it at places? Like, it can be the smallest hint.
Yeah, sometimes I do that in. Yeah. I had a word print in that Christmas collection that you and I were talking about before, the Christmas Adventure. And I have a fall collection coming out that isn't released yet, but there's some fallish phrases. So we'll just pretend I didn't say anything about that and give anything away there, but that's coming out soon.
In other words, guys, she's saying, Lisa, keep your eyes open and don't miss the fall collection like you missed the Christmas collection.
No, I would.
No, I'm just kidding. I do love it. And I do love that you're triggering my brain to, look for that for sure. Libby says, I absolutely love your collection.
Aw, thanks, Libby.
It just puts a smile on your face. It really, really does. Now, with this, did you write the patterns for the quilts behind you? Do you have someone that writes quilt patterns for you? What's that world look like?
No, I do that. So I usually design the fabric first, and then I design the quilts to go with it. So there's usually 2 to 3 quilts that come out every collection. So this one is called Berry Market, and we actually I'm in the middle of a sew along with this one. So with each collection, I usually do a sew along on my YouTube channel. So we break it down and I kind of walk through. You still have to buy the pattern, but I teach everybody how to make the blocks. So that's fun. This one uses my orange peel template. It's called Berry Crumble.
Berry Crumble.
And it's a fun orange peel, but it's also got piecing, some a little bit different there. So it's a mix of applique and regular piecing. And then this is actually a redo of one of my first patterns. It's called Stacking Stars. So I recolored it in Berry Market with that dark background and kind of refreshed the pattern a little bit. So
love it. Now let's go back to Berry Crumble real quick. You mentioned there's piecework in it and there's applique. Is that raw edge applique, needle turn, or can they choose what they want?
They could choose to do raw edge, but I teach it with the interfacing, and then so we sew it to interfacing and then turn it right side out and then applique it on with machine. So it's machine applique. So I have another quilt pattern that uses that same template because I'm a very firm believer that if I'm going to put out a template for you guys, we're not going to just have one pattern that uses it because nobody wants to do that. So I have another quilt that's called the Orange Pico quilt. It came out a couple of years ago, and I have a whole tutorial on that quilt on my YouTube channel. So this is the same method of applique, and then you piece those star blocks as well to put in there for some different vibes.
Yeah, so cute. So Christine says Berry Crumble, yummy. I agree. Yummy quilt. But who doesn't want a berry crumble in general?
Well, exactly.
I know. So when we hang up from here, Beverly's going to have to do some shipment of some of this nice stock of these patterns to the shop so you guys can grab them. So let me ask you another question about that berry crumble because it is just really so yummy. Would that be an easy one once, someone makes a quilt, if they wanted to turn it in and to make a table runner? Do you think they could?
Absolutely. It's actually perfect for that. Let me take it out of the bag to get rid of the glare. But so this is the way the whole quilt looks. So if you just took like this section right here, or if you even took it down to just this row, how cute would a runner would that be? It'd be perfect. Or if you want the stars, you could make it go this way. So it's very, very versatile for a runner.
I like that. Yeah, I'm always taking patterns and I'll make a pillow out of, a portion to make a pillow or a table runner. There's more than one way to use a pattern. I tell everybody, don't look at the price of the pattern and be like, oh, I'm paying X amount of dollars just to make this quilt. I'm like, no, break that up. Do it in other projects. Absolutely.
Make a pillow with one of the blocks to match the quilt. And I mean, there's just so many. And make it a pillow cover so you can change it out all the time.
Absolutely. Well, this one I could even see just taking like that star block with some of the orange peels and creating that on the back of a denim jacket, I think would be
cute.
So cute. Especially a white denim jacket for spring.
Yes. Oh, very cute.
All the things. Real quick, Beverly, Miss Libby would love to know how does she do your YouTube channel?
So if you go to YouTube and search my name, Beverly McCullough, it will come up. So
I
it's
guarantee if they put flamingo toes.
that too, but it's the YouTube link for some reason it didn't like the flamingo toes, so it's Beverly McCullough. But if you search flamingo toes, there might be other things because I've done some things on like Riley Blake's website and different things like that, but you should still somewhere in the search be able to find me. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Guys, I will definitely make sure we have some of these patterns in the shop. And so real quick, let's talk about your zipper charm. So I alluded to this earlier, guys. Those of you that were VIP owners of the 2025 box, inside, Beverly helped to work very sneakily and get us all charms to go in those boxes. I think we featured 2 different zipper charms. One was the quilt shop one, which was so cute, and then the other one was one of your classic quilt blocks. I can't remember which quilt block it was, but everybody loved. Yes, everybody loved them. They are so nicely crafted. I mean, very high quality for sure. So what got you into designing the zipper pulls? And well, we kind of already know the needle nannies because you're a hand stitcher girl, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that was what started it, was the love for hand stitching and then wanting to make needle minders that coordinated with the collections. So that started it. And then people started asking for the charm versions. And so I was like, well, yeah, we can do that too, because it's the same exact design, but with a charm on it. So we don't have our whole line of needle minders because we have over 50 needle minders. So we don't have them all in charm version, but we do have so I have a whole line of charms and needle minders that are a Main Street series, which I love. So all the fun different shops of Main Street. So quilt shop, of course, needlework shop. There's a wool shop and a theater. We just added ice cream, flower market. There's all kinds of, so those are all in charms, but then some of our favorites too, like the sewing machine and the hedgehog and some fun, cute, whimsical ones too.
Absolutely. So Lori Baker said that she just ordered the stuffed strawberry patterns and that she'll be in the shop today for some strawberry fabric. Absolutely. You know, it is fun. It is just a fun collection. It does make you smile. One of the other things, Beverly, before we go, I want to give you kudos for is, you know, like I told you, I'm one of your besties and you don't even know it, but you know, I have followed you for a while. I love that you don't stick within the same colorways constantly. Like,
oh, sure.
Like some of your collections will be in a total different world. And sometimes you have to pause and you're like, you know, that looks like a Beverly, you know, design, but oh wait, that's Beverly, you know?
Yes.
So
yes.
Are you an all-loving color person, or do you intentionally try to hop around the color so you're not stuck, you know, in a pigeonhole? Because sometimes fabric designers do get stuck, you know, within 1 to 2 colorways, and it's like, come on, I love you, but I can't always put the same colors in the shop. We need to bounce.
Right. Well, I like changing up my house. I'm definitely a color girl, not very much a neutrals girl. But I like changing up my house seasonally. And so I want you guys to be able to do that too. Like maybe you want pinks and navies and aquas for, you know, spring, but then in the fall, you're going to want something that's more muted. I have a Christmas collection coming out in June that's very traditional reds, greens. There is one pink print because it's very hard for me to not put pink in a collection. I've only had one collection that doesn't have pink in it. And I felt like I loved it, but I felt like, is this missing something? I felt like I'd lost my keys or something. But so I try and change things up because, I mean, I don't want my house to feel the same all the time. I think maybe some people feel that way.
Well, I will tell you, so my sewing room / office is these colors. Like this is the color palette. So this is just like yummy, and needless to say, there's, you know, some strawberry fills in there for sure. And so this is perfect. So I'm already plotting a wall hanging out of this. And great. I was gonna, you know, attempt to make these strawberries, but now that Lori Baker just posted that she bought the patterns, I'm just going to mark that off my to-do list.
Right. You're good.
She spoils me for sure. Absolutely.
That's great.
Steve just slid in front of me. He's making me all emotional. So, I talked about why I have a sentimental thing to strawberries. Not only is it my favorite fruit, but my grandmother, the one that I was speaking of that he's going to make me all teary-eyed. She had this dress, and it was this aqua mint color with strawberries on it. And that was like one of the only bold color dresses I want to say that she had, because they worked on a farm, and they had like 12 to 13 kids. You can put yourself in that time period. And so when she would wear this particular dress, I just remember as a kid just thinking, just absolutely gorgeous. Grandma's always gorgeous, but in that dress, she glowed. And when she wore that, I was just melting. So anyway, Steve just printed out a copy of that picture and slid it under my nose so I can show you and everyone. So I'm going to bend. There's two pictures here. I'm going to bend it. And unfortunately, you can't see the picture good. But so this is my grandma Annie.
Oh.
And you can see barely that it is that color bluish color with the strawberry. And here is one of my most favorite pictures. It is me. That's me.
Sweet.
I know that's me standing there. And this is my little cousin, Rochelle, but you can kind of see the dress a little bit better.
Absolutely. That's so sweet.
I had a great tan there. I'm just saying that was a good summer. And look at me rocking those shorts with the strings down. They were all ragged. So funny. But to this day, I cannot see a strawberry, eat a strawberry, nothing strawberry, without thinking of Grandma Annie.
That's so sweet. I love that.
So you see why your collection, and I was like, Beverly, we have to have a Facebook Live and talk about this yummy collection. Yes. One, because I absolutely love you. I just think you're a ray of sunshine.
Thank you.
Super talented. And I love supporting other, female-owned businesses. And, I told you that before when we met in person. And just support you, girl. And I appreciate you supporting our shop and letting our citizens of Serendipitous meet you and dig into your world.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
Good. Sarah says, I love the story and the connection to the fabric and your grandma. Yes, I tell you, there's nothing like our grandparents. If you're blessed enough to be around your grandparents, and get to see them frequently. I think today's time, we get a little less of those generational gatherings, versus when we were kids. But there was just nothing like being at either one of my grandmother's house. Everything that I am, honestly, Beverly, I can see both of my grandmas in me all day long. All the things I love. I love cooking. That's, Grandma Dorothy. The sewing. That's, both of them. And just all the things. Yeah. I'm very vintagey, awesome. Like you said. Lori Baker says, I wish Beverly lived closer. She would be so fun to be in the serendipitous world. Beverly would fit right in with the wonderful ladies and all the sewing groups. Well, that's why we're bringing
fun. I would love that.
As much as we can here. But listen, Beverly's going to the high C soon. Tell them where you're going and what you're doing, Beverly.
I'm teaching on a cruise in a couple weeks, actually. We're leaving and we're going out of Texas and we're going to Mexico and Honduras. So that'll be my first time going to Honduras. So that'll be fun. We're going to go see some sloths, I guess. I don't know.
Some sloths. Some days I feel like a sloth. So that is one of the cruises that Stitch in Haven, isn't that right? And it's Stitch Haven?
Yeah, Stitch in Heaven.
Stitch in Heaven puts out. I know you guys and gals out there have seen those. If you ever get the opportunity, jump on one. So you're saying that you guys are out there for 8 days. Is it a full 8 days of like class opportunities as well, or how's that?
Well, so I didn't know this. I'd been on cruises before, but of course I didn't go looking for convention centers but there are some on cruises. So there's rooms set up. We teach on the days that we're at sea. So we teach on those 2 days, and then but the room is open all the time. So like if there's excursions, people can come and go, but then a lot of people will come back and sew in the evenings after dinner if they're not going to go to a show or something like that. So we'll go hang out in the sewing room when we're not out doing something. So it's a mix of fun and sewing, or swimming and sewing.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a great, I had no clue that there was quote unquote convention centers on some of these cruise ships.
Who knew?
Well, God knows they're big enough to incorporate that for sure. So Christine Lang says, now we can look forward to some sloth cloth. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. I don't know how you're going to put a sloth in a vintage camper or a vintage bicycle, but hey, you never know.
Put it in the basket. It'll be fine.
Exactly. It'll work. Steve says, oh my gosh, or OMG, I love sloths. I do know he does love sloths. So
I'm excited about it. We're actually doing an excursion where we get to hold one. So it'll be fun.
Oh, really? They have big, long, girl, no. They're slow, but might be deadly.
We'll see. If I come back all scraped up, then I'll let y'all know. Don't hold the sloths, but I'm going to give it a go.
I will tell you, I did not expect that out of you, Beverly. For whatever reason, I don't see you as the adventurous kind.
Oh yeah, no, we're doing that, and we're going to swim with dolphins. So we are just taking advantage of all the adventures.
That is amazing. I absolutely love it. So other than that, do you ever sponsor or a part of quilt retreats on land and, near where you live or anything like that?
I actually do have one near where I live coming up in November. I'm teaching at one that's in the next town over, but most of the retreats I do are other shops that have brought me in to teach. But I do 1 or 2 of those a year, depending upon my schedule. That I like doing that. I love teaching in a like a closed area where we can all get to know each other, and then I can just hang out with everybody that's there. And usually I have a machine that I can sew on, so I just get out my stuff and sew too. And I love that. That's just my favorite ways to teach, because it really lets me get to know everybody that's there. And I love that.
Absolutely. Sounds like I need to get out my calendar book and figure out a way to make this happen.
I would love it. That would be very fun.
I mean, seriously, you're probably only 6 hours away. I'm right on the border of North and South Carolina, right at Charlotte. I think when I go to Nashville, 6 or 7 hours, maybe.
Yeah, and we're an hour north of Nashville, so close to that, maybe 8 hours.
8 hours.
That's not very far. I can drive that.
Girl, pack it up. Absolutely. Stuff it in the trunk and come south. Maybe we'll have to do that when your weather starts getting colder. We'll bring it down here when we still have pretty decent temperatures.
I'll take it.
Exactly. Well, Beverly, I do appreciate you giving us this time this morning, sharing your stories, and making Serendipitous a part of your quilty world. I do know for a fact Steve's been posting out there in the comments, guys, links to Beverly's YouTube channel, to her website, so you can get to all things Beverly. And like I said, we are going to definitely be talking after this and get some of these patterns in the shop, so you guys can get them right here at Serendipitous. We already carry several of her charms. I want to say I may have 1 or 2 of your needle minders if we've not sold out, but we'll definitely get some more of those in, guys. Look, see, temptation, it's on. Those are going off. Guys, if that matches, that is spot on.
I know,
Beverly. It's okay. Those are coming to Serendipitous, and then of course 1 or 2 of those are coming to my house. I'm just saying. I love it. Libby says, thanks, Lisa and Beverly. Guys, we appreciate y'all watching and taking your time to sit here and listen to me and Beverly babble on about whatever. and being a part of our quilty journey. It's so much fun with others for sure. But for now, guys, this is Lisa and Beverly, and it is serendipitous. So, it's always unexpected happiness truly found in every stitch. Bye, and we'll see you guys next time.